Hello, hi everybody, happy Easter. Hope you had a nice Easter if you celebrate Easter. We had a nice Easter. We went out to a restaurant with all our kids and Gia and had a nice time. Some brought me the roses back there. And we got home kind of, I don't know how late. Seemed like 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. It was a long day. Because I was up early doing their Easter baskets, even the big ones got Easter actually bags. But didn't make an Easter bread. I might make an Easter bread tomorrow because my daughter's going to stay home and she's working from home. So maybe I will do an Easter bread tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, right? But I did manage to get the files that were released by the Queen Creek Police Department in the horrific homicide of Preston Lord. Now, we talked about this case, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And if you need to be refreshed, he was the teenager that was beaten to death after a Halloween party. And the thing is that I think the suspects are from affluent families. And they started to be called the Gilbert Goons. There's like this gang of entitled teens, if you will. And some of the parents have been implicated in helping to hide their kids who took part in this and hid them away. So now a 1,162 page police report has been released, and I've not gone through a lot of it, but I've gone through some of it, and it's horrific. Like some of this, I didn't know my own strength. I had a fight and I killed someone, and there's Snapchat stuff that's not good. And I will tell you now, the parents of these kids are coming out, well, they're fighting mad now because all this stuff that their kids put out there, even though their names are redacted, the parents they're out. So now they're screaming that the police department put their lives at risk, and now the police department has released another thing that's, I'll read you what they released here. I think I have it still up, don't I? Let me see here. Let's see here. Okay. Let me just see if I want to get to this. And there's all kinds of people sticking up for this Renner family. And Talan Renner is, well, we'll read about it in this police report, but let's see. Okay, here's what I'm think. There was a let me just go to the Facebook page for the Queens to get the release. Hold on. I had it up and I closed a bunch of tabs because, so it's best just to go to the source, right? Got it? And I'll look at the chat in a minute, but I'm just going to read this to you so you see. Trusting Billy. That is so weird. Hang on a minute. Okay, here, this is where I read it on the, it's not on the Facebook page, it's on the actual website. Of course, I had it. They would have it like right okay. Police. It's so weird because, let me see if I can find it in here. I don't know. Actually, well, apparently they said if your life is being threatened or anybody feels that their life is being threatened, they should, file a report. And I think it's just posturing, because they don't want this stuff coming out about how horrible this was, right? This is the whole thing that was happening. So now they're going to toss it back and say their lives are in danger or whatever. Let me see. I don't know. I had it all. Maybe this is the one. No. I'm not going to worry about it anyway. We have the real police report. Let's just open that up and worry about the other thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here, which is this police report. And let me just say hi to you guys. Right here. So let me get in live chat before we start. So it says, let's see here. Hi Dina, hi Sherry, hi Margot. Dina says, I won't be able to chat, but I'll be listening. This happened right near our other home and very near our daughter's home. I'm heading down there tomorrow. Oh really, Dina? Huh. Yeah, actually I have a girlfriend and I have cousins that live near this as well. Hi, Marianne. Sharon, don't be mean to Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, DB. How are you? Hi, Nightbot. Hi, Kama Sutra. I haven't seen you in so long. Wow, little mommy. Little mommy. Thank you, Kama Sutra. Hi, Evan. How are you? Good to see you, Kama Sutra. I thought about you recently. Okay, thank you, Evan. Hi, Linda Uribe. Okay, so let me pull this up here. This is, so the first few pages, let's see. And you can see, I'm going to try to be, everything is redacted. That they've redacted. So they have people involved here, and there are names here. And it says, this is the general offense report, and it's offense 1 is a homicide, non-neg manslaughter completed, robbery completed, aggravated assault completed, theft, all others completed, a miscellaneous criminal incident completed, and a miscellaneous criminal incident completed. So there's juvenile victim number 1, juvenile victim number 2, juvenile victim number 3. Their names are all redacted. And then there's the suspects. And we have for suspect number 9, Roberto Carrera. Suspect 10 is Emily Eileen Carrera. Then the next one says arrestee includes long-form juvenile referral, cite and release, Dominic Turner. Same thing. Number 5, Taylor Reagan Sherman. Same thing. Preston Billy. And then juvenile arrestee number 1, Jacob Ryan Meisner. Juvenile arrestee number 2, Talan Renner. Now we've talked about Talan Renner. His father's the one that allegedly is accused of hiding him away, and we're going to hear a lot about Talan Renner. Then juvenile arrestee number 3, Talan Ray Vigil. Their names are spelled differently. Talan Renner is Talan, and Talan Vigil is Talyn. Then William Owen Hines, juvenile arrestee number 6. Then there's a juvenile witness, and they're totally redacted. 2, then 4, 5. These are all the juvenile witnesses that are in there. They're all redacted, of course. And what they're saying, or people are saying, that they thought the witnesses were being, but I don't know how the witnesses were being found out who they are because they're redacted, so I don't know. Involved other number 3, Autumn Renee Lord. Involved other number 4, Nicholas Nelson Lord. Involved other, Glenn A. Jones. Involved other number 6, Catherine Howie. Involved other number 7, Adam Graham. Involved other number 10, Rebecca Goodman. And involved number 11, Frederick Lewis Shapler. Involved other 12, Lori Ann Meinhardt. Involved other 13, Alejandra Cavallo. Involved other 14, Amy Marie Chatterton. Involved other 15, Julianne Sorick. Involved other 18, Michaela Angelina Correra. Involved other 19, Liberty Rose Pinkard. Involved other, Caitlin Lee Miller. Involved other 21, Ava Ellen Asselbers. Involved other number 22, Ethan Solst Oxford. Okay, involved other 26, Diego Sebastian Lerdahl. Involved other 27, Jacob Robert Nixon. Involved other 28, Heather B. Jones. Involved other 30, Tina Rogers. Involved 31, Melissa Chicante. And then involved other, it jumps to 50, Diane Talina Villalobos. Involved other 53 is Kevin Stewart. Involved other 55, Kyle Smith. Involved other 57 is Joshua John Von Miller. Involved other 58 is Courtney Angel Von Miller. Involved other 59 is Carl Eugene Hill. Involved other 6 is Daniel A. De La Torre. 64 involved other, number 64, Adabel Soto Moreno. Involved other 65, Julie Brenda Olin. Involved other 68, Lori Ann Spiker. This is an incredible amount of people, right? Involved other number 70, Allison K. Corda. Involved other 73, Charlotte L. Shrum. Involved other 74, Jeremy Kovisar. Involved other 75, Kyle Rogers. Involved other 76, Andrew Vasquez. 77, I'm just going to give the number, okay, it's involved other. Donovan Starr. 78, Andy Lavala. 79, Thomas Andrew. 82, Pirina Palma Barros. 84, Tiffany K. Mills. 85, James Unknown. 87, Ross Unknown. 89, Karina Lee. 100, Dr. Joshua Zeidler. 102, M.D. Molitor. 104, Maria Villalba. 105, Heber Villalba. 106, Christopher Billy. 108, Jeff Chichaz. 111, Trevor Perry. 114, Ashley Lynn Ward. 115, Bryce Taylor. 118, Stacy Reeder. 125, Nora Abril Bunton. 126, Alan Moore. 129, William Francis Hines. 130, Laura Dawn Hines. 131, Nicholas Jason Palmer. 132, Michael S. Williams. 133, Jacob Lee Pennington. 134, Rebecca Renner. 135, Edward Renee Medina. 136, Bryce Hendrickson. 138, Talan Vigil. 140, Peyton Marie Quickle. 141, Brooke M. Quickle. 142, Johanna Manley. 144, Sawyer James Knipp. 148, Bradley Dean Actipus. 149, Carrie Lynn Bailey. 151, Bridget Megab Sweeney. 160, Brittany Deatherage. Wow, that's quite a name. Number 162, Tatiana Willis. Number 180, Leo Odell. 183, Catherine Layton. 186, Gage Silas Garrison. 188, Robert Amaryllis. 197, Riley A. Wybron. 203, David Garcia. 208, Alex Tenney. 210, Lori Lest. 213, Mason Jostin. 216, Donica Martinet. 218, Juan Delgado. 220, Elizabeth Glenn. 226, Holly Lynn McCabe. 227, Michael Adams. 229, Samantha Michelle Borland. 230, Deborah Foster. 231, Brigham M. Perry. 232, Andreas Romero. 233, Christopher Dennis Luna. 235, Leo M. Reynolds. 236, Anna M. Reynolds. 239, Mark Rule. 240, Andrea May Berninson. 241, Sergeant Alexander Sargent, I'm sorry. 242, Anthony Meisner. 243, Mickey Michael Golan. 245, Richard Ryan. 247, Stephen Richard Markovich. 248, Christopher Caden Cager. 249, Peggy Schopler. 250, Amber Lee Standage. 251, Lindy Andrew. 252, Jennifer Howard. 253, Steve Fasces. 255, Dale Jorgensen. 256, Nicole D. Davidson. 258, Mike Gowecki. 259, Cash Maddock. 260, Isaiah Gutierrez. 261, Isabel Martinez. 262, Angela Frederick. 264, Ashley Mester. 264, Sandra Flores. 266, Carly Cartmel. 268, Joshua Hunter. 271, Ashley Reynolds. 272, Gregory Gash. 273, Zoe Bailey. 274, Adam Kiefer. 275, Jamie Herrera. 276, Charlotte Thornton. 275, we got that one. 277, Nicole Thornton. 278, Evan Brunick. 279, Tracy Domon. 280, Christopher Brunick. 282, Aaron O'Brien Otis. 283, Pierce Neary Barron. 284, Catherine Kachuba. 286, Katie McPherson. 287, Cassandra Irwin. 288, Jessica Stimson. 289, Stephen Jones. 290, Timothy McCabe. 291, Sarah McCabe. 296, Devin Horning. 298, Caroline Alexander. 300, Donald Eugene Drake. 301, Rachel Blackwell. 302, Clarissa Ferranti. 303, Jolene Jackson. 310, Jaden Bixby. 312, Grayson Sprague. 315, Rocco Alvey. 316, Aris Arredondo. These are all involved others. Number 318, Dylan Jasso. Number 321, Tyler Freeman. Number 323, Clayton Oden. Number 325, Kyler Renner. 326, Gavin Yee Walker. Number 328, Devlin Edward Rice. 330, Rachel S. Moore. 333, Deanna Marie Petherick. Okay, and then there's a juvenile involved other, and these are all redacted. And there's several juvenile involved others that are all redacted. So we're going through pages of them right now, but they're all redacted. So they're just numbers, okay? But there's pages. We are already through 44 pages just listing this, okay? And now we're still going through redacted. Now we're finally on page 48, which investigative lead number 3, and it says Bryce's older brother. Investigative lead number 146, Joseph Michael LaLiberty. Juvenile investigative lead is redacted. Owner number 1, Adam Wade Pennington. Owner number 2, Bruce Lee Quickle. Reporting party number 2, Rachel Erin Crawford. Reporting party number 3, Penny Lee Sparling. Reporting party, Ashley Elizabeth Baines Mester. Reporting party, Lauren Michelle Freemeyer. Reporting party, Michael Robert Perch. Reporting party 10, Emily Lustgroff. Reporting party 11, David Lane Stoddard. Reporting party 13, Melissa Lord. Reporting party 14, Camille Llewellyn. Reporting party 15, Heidi Reed. Reporting Party 17, Kimberly Rexing. Reporting Party 19, Jason Borland. Okay, these are all going to be reporting parties. I'm going to give the number 20, Anna M. Earls. 21, Stephanie Francis Arnold. 22, Nicole Marie Herrera. 24, Kelly Jean Kavanaugh. 25, Robert James Dirks. 26, Kayla Lane Rasciano. 28, Charlotte Cooper. 29, Bradley David Moore. 30, Kimberly Michelle Costa. 31, Madison Grace Davidson. 32, Barbara Rayner. 33, Chelsea Snesko. And then there's juvenile reporting parties, and those are all redacted. And then there's related unidentified persons. So now we're finally getting to something else. Related businesses. Premises number 1, Crimson High School. Premise number 2, The Villages at Octotillo. Premise number 3, Fry's, Fry''S. Premise number 4, Nectar Juice Bar, Gilbert SE. Related vehicles, a 2022 Toyota Camry, a 2008 Toyota Tacoma, and then they just have a 2013 two-door hardtop license plate number. Okay, so here's the narrative, okay? We're finally on page 56. Synopsis. This is the related person, victim 1, date of birth, okay? On 10/28/2023, at approximately 21:49 hours, Redacted was assaulted by unknown suspects and left unconscious laying in the roadway with unknown trauma at Redacted. Life-saving measures were conducted by responding officers until Queen Creek Fire Department arrived and took over medical care. Redacted was transported to the Chandler Regional Hospital in critical condition. At the time of this report, the suspects are unknown and have not been located. Detectives arrived on scene and have assumed the investigation, and this incident will be open for investigations. The narrative. When en route to an unrelated call for service in the area of Hawes and Chandler Heights, dispatch advised of a call for service regarding an assault where the victim had become non-responsive and CPR was being administered. Officer Rodriguez advised we would be diverting to the assault call, and we responded Code 3, emergency driving to the call. The call for service stated the victim was at E Via del Rancho and South 194th Street, Queen Creek, Arizona 85142. Dispatch advised the suspects had left in an unknown direction of travel. While arriving in the area, we observed numerous vehicles leaving the area, which all appeared to be teenage-aged passengers. Once arriving on scene, Officer Rodriguez and I were flagged down by multiple people, stating he, Redacted, was over there, pointing to Redacted. Officer Rodriguez and I ran over to the front of the home and observed a male, later identified as Redacted, laying on the ground on his back. He appeared to be unconscious, not breathing, and there was another male doing CPR on Redacted. Officer Rodriguez took over life-saving measures by conducting chest compressions and instructed me to begin separating witnesses and identifying them. Officer Rodriguez and Officer Grossman continued with chest compressions while I began interviewing witnesses. Below is a summary of my interview with witnesses. Redacted verbally identified himself and with his Arizona driver's license. I asked Redacted to explain what happened, and he stated there was a group of 8 individuals, 6 white males and 2 black males, who attacked Redacted. Redacted stated they were leaving from a house party when he witnessed Redacted get attacked. Redacted said he did not know the individuals that attacked Redacted and could not get a description. Redacted stated the individuals did not attend their school. After speaking with Redacted, I reconnected with Officer Rodriguez, and as we were speaking, we observed another male, later identified as Redacted, who was near his black pickup truck and was holding his wrist. Redacted stated he was assaulted and on the phone with his dad. Officer Rodriguez spoke to Redacted's father on the phone, and Officer Johnson conducted an interview with Redacted. While Officer Johnson was speaking to Redacted, Officer Rodriguez and I made contact with another witness, identified as, also the name Redacted, who had called Redacted before returning to the scene. Below is a summary of my interview with Redacted. Redacted verbally identified himself and stated he witnessed an unknown individual with the description of a Hispanic male, 5'7", heavy build, wearing a red suit with a tie, get into a verbal argument with an unknown individual known as Redacted. Redacted stated Redacted recorded the previous altercation that occurred after they left the house party, which caused the Hispanic male to pursue Redacted to delete the video Redacted recorded. Redacted was forced to erase the video he recorded by the unknown Hispanic male. Redacted also stated as Redacted was walking away, unknown Hispanic man pulled Redacted's chain and then struck Redacted in the head. Redacted stated the Hispanic individual was part of the group of individuals referencing the first incident that occurred with Redacted. He was able to provide footage of an unknown Hispanic male and Redacted info. Redacted stated he had a video of the Hispanic male. I provided Redacted with Axon's community request link for evidence via telephone number. Redacted also provided his Snapchat account name of where he received the video evidence, and he gave the Snapchat account, and that's Redacted. And they they talk about the Snapchat account and the telephone number. It's all Redacted. After obtaining the information regarding Redacted, I was assigned to stand by with the witnesses and ensure that they did not speak to each other regarding the incident until all witnesses were interviewed by detectives. After all of the juveniles were interviewed, I was reassigned to assist crime scene specialist Kirkpatrick while she processed the scene. I stayed on scene until I was relieved by Sergeant Muth and told we could secure. The case is being sent to the Criminal Investigations Unit. Conclusion. Redacted was transported to Chandler Regional Hospital in critical condition. At the time of this report, the suspects are unknown and have not been located. Detectives arrived on scene and have assumed the investigation, and the incident will be open for investigations. Okay. And this is by Andrew Luna. It's a supplemental narrative. And it says on November 13th, 2023, at approximately 17:38 hours, a male suspect identified as Nicholas Lord arrived at the Queen Creek Police Department Public Safety Building to provide possible evidence from his son's laptop. This is Preston's father. I took the laptop into custody and placed the silver Apple MacBook Pro into property and evidence. I provided Nicholas with a property receipt prior to him leaving the building. This concludes my involvement. Okay, here's another supplemental narrative. And this is by Michael Joist. Okay, on November 2nd, 2023, at approximately 18:30 hours, I assisted with the serving of a search warrant. The warrant was served at, and that's Redacted, body-worn camera. This was captured on my department-issued body-worn camera. Upon arrival to the neighborhood, I parked on E. Bluebird Drive, just east of South Red Rock Street. Queen Creek Police Department Special Assignment Unit, SAU, was at the residence assisting with contacting the residents of Redacted. Detective J. Aribi contacted the occupants of the residence via telephone, and they exited the residence without incident. It was at this time I changed my position to the residence.
I stood by with the homeowners and their 2 children outside of the residence as detectives in crime scene executed the search. At one point, I was asked to enter the residence to speak with Detective J. Uribe. After the conversation was completed, I exited the residence and resumed standing with the family outside. My interaction with the family only consisted of me thanking them for their their patience, and advising them that we, the QCPD, were almost done. I stood by as Detective J. Uribe explained the receipt of the items collected and seized. The family then went back into their residence, and I did not have any further contact. I cleared from the scene at this time. And then the next. This is, author of this is Megan Works Cow. On 10/30/2023, I responded to Hamilton High School in Chandler, Arizona with Detective Uribe. We made contact with redacted person. Please refer to Detective J. Uribe's Supplemental for the details of that interview. On 10/31/2023, I responded to the Maricopa Medical Examiner's Office, where I was present for Redacted's autopsy that took place at approximately 900 hours. The examination was held in Spot 6 and was completed by Drs. Casa and Michalisek. The total examination lasted for approximately 2 hours. After the completion of the examination, Dr. Casa advised that they found some lacerations to the back of his head and there was hemorrhaging around the brain. In addition, the blood vessels within the brain appeared abnormal, so they would be sending samples of the brain tissue for further testing. Dr. Casa did not provide any further details at that time. On November 7th of 2023, I received an email from Axon advising Kristlyn Stevens from the Maricopa County Office of the Medical Examiner had shared a link to download the case photographs that were taken during the examination. On 11/13/2023, those photographs were uploaded to Axon Evidence. On 11/9/2023, I requested the OME's report and requested the report be sent to me via email. As of 11/17/2023, the OME did not have an update on the report findings. Okay, then next here. I don't know if you want me to pull this. Maybe I'll just pull this over now. Let's pull this over here. Maybe you want to read along. I don't know. Maybe. Let me make this bigger. Okay. November 17th, 2023, this supplement is being generated to document my involvement in this case. This supplement is being created to document interviews conducted on 11/1/2023 with Redacted, and Redacted. All interviews were held separately and were audio and video recorded and uploaded to Axon Evidence. The interviews were held at the Highland High School in a private room. Each student was identified by their school picture and student face sheets. The following below are summaries of my interviews with each individual and not verbatim. Redacted did not attend the party and did not have any direct contact with anyone that attended the party and did not have any direct knowledge of the events that occurred on 10/28/2023 at the party. She advised that she heard from her friend, Redacted, that Talan Vigil had admitted to Redacted that he had hit a kid, then said that Talan Vigil had contacted Redacted and had admitted to her that he had killed somebody. Redacted did not have details on the conversation that took place between Talan Vigil and Redacted. When asked specifically about Talan Vigil, Redacted stated she personally knew him and described him to be tall and thin with really blonde hair. She knew that Talan Vigil hung out with another student. Redacted stated that she had not had much contact with Talan Vigil in several months and did not know much more about him. Redacted had no further information, and this ended my contact. Redacted interview. Redacted was not at the party, but
had been hanging out with Talan Vigil and Redacted earlier that day on 10/28/2023. She was with them from approximately 1400 to 1600 hours that day. However, she did have some communication with Talan Vigil while he was at the party. Redacted stated all their communication is done either by text message or over the phone. They never use any social media apps to communicate. Redacted allowed me to look through her text messages between herself and Talan with the phone number of Redacted. The communication was very minimal and had nothing of significance regarding the events of the party. Talan did tell her he was at a party, had to drive people home, and got home on 10/28/2023, approximately 23:33 hours. There was no mention of an altercation of any type. Redacted believed he had gone to a party with Redacted and another girl named Redacted. Redacted did not have any information on that girl, obviously. She also stated she did not know what Talan was driving as his truck was not working. Redacted stated that Redacted drove a white lifted Ford truck. She also did not believe Talan Vigil or Redacted dressed up for the party and went in normal attire. She had last seen Talan wearing a black shirt and black shorts. She stated that Redacted went as a cowgirl. Redacted knew Redacted went as a cowgirl because Talan had posted a photo of Redacted on either his Snapchat or Instagram story, and a friend of Redacted screenshotted it and sent it to her. Redacted provided detectives with a copy of the photograph of Redacted. The photograph was of a young female, long blonde hair, wearing a black shirt and a black skirt and thigh-high black boots and a black cowboy hat. Redacted last had contact with Talan over the phone on 10/30/2023. During that conversation, Redacted had questioned him about Redacted's death because of the rumors that were going around regarding Talan being involved. Talan told her that he had no part in the incident involving Redacted. Talan stated that he left the party, dropped Redacted off, went to Redacted's house, and then went home. Redacted has not had any communication with Talan since 10/30/2023 and had nothing further to add. This ended my contact with Redacted. Redacted had requested that his parents be advised of the interview. I had called Redacted's mother, Kristen, Redacted, advising her of my reasoning for talking to Redacted. Kristen stated that she would like to be present for the interview. Redacted was not questioned until Kristen, Redacted, and Glenn Redacted arrived on site. Redacted stated that he had gone to a party with Talan Vigil, Redacted and Redacted's friend. They knew about this party because random people had posted on Snapchat about the party and provided the address. They arrived at the party around 21:10, 21:20 hours. Redacted had driven separately from Talan and the two girls. Redacted had driven his Ford 250 and had parked on the southeast corner of East Via del Rancho and South 194th Street. Talan had borrowed a friend's vehicle, which was a white Camry. The Camry belonged to a friend of theirs named Jake Pennington. Talan was with Redacted and the other female. Talan had parked the Camry directly in front of the party house. Talan arrived at the party first, but had waited from Redacted by the car before they all entered the party together. When they entered the party, they noticed everyone was grouped up and in the corners of the property. He remembered seeing two groups that appeared to be having a beef. He advised that he never saw or heard any altercation, but the groups were two different sets of friends, as one group was dressed up in suits and the other group in normal attire. Redacted stated that he did not know anyone in either of those groups and in hindsight believed they were arguing. He believed they were arguing because there was a circle forming around two people, with someone in the middle of these two people talking back and forth between them. Redacted could only describe the person in the middle as wearing a white suit. After seeing these two groups, Redacted said that some of the girls started screaming that the cops were coming, so everyone started to leave. Redacted had drawn a photograph of the area of the party house where he had parked and where he witnessed the incident occurred. As Redacted is telling us what he had seen and heard, he is walking us through a picture of where everything occurred. Redacted stated that he and Talan started walking towards Redacted's truck as Talan had to grab his jacket out of Redacted's truck. As they were walking, I'm sure that's walking, not talking, towards his truck, northbound on South 194th Street, he saw a bunch of people scrambling and swinging. This occurred near his truck. Then everyone started running northbound on South 194th Street. Once the area cleared of people, Redacted saw someone on the ground in the street that he later identified as Redacted due to all the media. He described the subject on the ground as wearing a blue shirt, white Nike socks, and white Crocs. As Redacted laid on the ground, a subject in a white suit had run northbound on South 194th Street from the area of the incident and then ran back towards Redacted and either kicked or stomped on Redacted while saying F-U, P-U-S-S-Y, and then ran back northbound on S 194th Street. Redacted described the subject that had kicked or stomped Redacted as having dark hair, tan, chubby, with a round face, wearing a white suit. Redacted stated that he could identify the subject in the white suit if he were to see him again. Redacted went up to the subject on the ground and placed his hand on his chest to see if he was breathing. Redacted felt a couple of pulses, and then a bunch of other people started crowding him. And some unknown kids each grabbed a limb of Redacted and moved him from the street to the sidewalk of Redacted. Redacted said he noticed a cut underneath Redacted's chin, scrapes to his knee, and that he was throwing up. At this time, he appeared to be unconscious. Redacted stated more people came up to Redacted, and so he and Talan left. Redacted stated Talan was with him the entire time. Redacted stated Talan was never in a physical altercation that night. Redacted stated he was wearing lime green Vans, I'm sure that means Vans, and a Carhartt jacket with lime green on the front. Talan was wearing black cargo shorts, black jacket, and black Nikes. Redacted did not have anything further to add pertaining to the night of the incident. I ended my contact with the Redacteds and provided them with my contact information. This supplement is generated to document my involvement in the case. On 11/2/2023, I responded to the address of Redacted in Gilbert, Arizona, Treston Billy's address, to assist with searching the property for specific items of interest. During this search, I did not personally find any items of evidentiary value. 11/5/2023, Detective D. Iribe and I responded to Redacted in Queen Creek to contact Redacted, aka Redacted. We successfully made contact with Redacted along with both of his parents. Please refer to Detective D. Iribe's supplement for details regarding our conversation with the Redacted. Okay, this is Talan Renner contact at ALA Gilbert North. On November 6th, at approximately 12:45 hours, Detective D. Iribe and I contacted Talan Renner while at school at Gilbert North, located at 1070 South Higley Road in Gilbert, Arizona. The entirety of the contact was audio and video recorded and uploaded to Axon Evidence. The following below is a summary of our contact and not verbatim. Talan was first contacted just outside of the boys' bathroom. The dean of students was with us and asked Talan where his cell phone was and the rest of his belongings. Talan stated his cell phone was in his pocket and the rest of his belongings were in the classroom. The dean of students collected Talan's items from the classroom, and we escorted Talan to a private room. Once Talan was placed in the private room, he requested that we call his father, Travis Renner. After a couple of attempts to call Travis had called me back on my department-issued cell phone. I explained to Travis that we were with Talan and wanted to talk to him about an open investigation. Travis advised us that he would like to be present while we talked to Talan and along with his attorney. Travis then stated he would need to get a hold of his attorney, but that they should be able to come to the school. I then requested Travis to text me after he got a hold of his attorney to provide me with an ETA for their arrival. Shortly after, I received a missed call from the number redacted. I called the number back and I learned that the number belonged to Kyle Reedy, Talan's attorney. Kyle stated that he was currently in trial and was unable to come to the school but would like to schedule an interview. Kyle then provided his contact information. I told him that I would provide it to the case agent to get that arranged. I then informed him that we would be serving a search warrant on Talan, but that he would be released after the completion of the search warrant. Kyle Reedy acknowledged that they were going to serve the search warrant and ended our contact. On 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:07 hours, search warrant, and the number there, was served to Talan Renner. A copy of the warrant was provided to Talan Renner, and we explained to him that it was a court order signed by a superior judge who gave us police permission to seize his cell phone, DNA swabs, and photographs of Talan. Talan's cell phone was seized on 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:08 hours. The cell phone was immediately placed into a Faraday bag. On 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:11 hours, Detective D.E. Reeby took photographs of Talan. Refer to D.E. Reeby's supplement for further information on the photographs. On 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:14 hours, I obtained buccal swabs from Talan Renner. When obtaining buccal swabs from Talan, I wore gloves and I swabbed the inside of each cheek for approximately 10 to 15 seconds. I then placed the swabs in their original packaging, and the original packaging was placed into another envelope, which was placed into a second larger envelope. The envelopes were labeled with Talan Renner's identification information on it. After obtaining Talan's cell phone, DNA swabs and photographs were obtained. Permission from Travis Renner to email him a copy of the receipt of the property taken from Renner. Travis confirmed that his email was redacted. A receipt was emailed to Travis on 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:28 hours. This ended our contact with Talan Renner, and Talan returned to class. Rebecca Renner's residence. After leaving Talan Renner's school, Detective D.E. Reeby and I responded to Talan's mother's residence, located at redacted. Search warrant and the number was served prior to our arrival. However, we were asked to search the residence for the requested items listed on the warrant. I started searching the residence on 11/6/2023 at approximately 13:47 hours and ended the search on 11/6/2023 at approximately 15:46 hours, so just about 2 hours. For location and items seized, please refer to Crime Scene Evidence Technician Jacqueline Thurman's report and Detective D.E. Reeby's report. A copy of the property receipt was emailed to Rebecca on 11/6/2023 at approximately 15:58 hours. The receipt was emailed to redacted, and Rebecca confirmed that she had received it prior to our departure. Jacob Meisner's residence. On 11/6/2023 at approximately 16:19 hours, I stood by the residence of redacted in Gilbert while detectives served and searched the house regarding, and that's the search warrant number. The residents were identified as Anthony Meisner, Wendy Meisner, and Jacob Meisner. Detective J. Reeby provided Wendy a copy of the two warrants, one for the residents and one for Jacob Meisner. Detective J. Uribe explained to Wendy what law enforcement was specifically looking for and went through each warrant with her. Detective J. Uribe then explained to Wendy that the process of serving the warrant and obtaining the requested items. While Detective J. Uribe was explaining to Wendy Meisner what police were looking for, Jacob stated that he no longer had the costume and he believed it was in someone's vehicle. He also stated that his cell phone was in the hallway near his room. During my contact with the Meisners, they were not questioned regarding the investigation. I was never a part of searching the residence. However, after the residence was searched, I was asked to obtain buccal swabs from Jacob, which were obtained by the granted warrant. On 11/6/2023, at approximately 17:58 hours, I obtained buccal swabs from Jacob Meisner. While obtaining the buccal swabs from Jacob, I wore gloves and swabbed the inside of each cheek approximately 10 to 15 seconds, then placed the swabs in the original packaging placed in another envelope, which was placed into a second larger envelope, and they were labeled with Jacob Meisner's identification information on it. That ended my contact with the Meisners. Evidence of chain of custody on 11/6/2023 at approximately 18:05 hours. I gave Talan's cell phone, Talan's buccal swabs, and Jacob Meisner's buccal swabs to Elsie Southwick, who then gave them to our crime scene evidence technician, Jacqueline Thurmond. 11/7/2023 and 11/8/2023, Detective D. Uribe and I were tasked with going to Perry High School to interview the following students. All of their names are redacted. And Caroline Alexander. Only 3 of the redacted names were interviewed at the school. Each student was identified by their school picture and school face sheets. Each interview was held in a private room at Perry High School and was audio recorded and uploaded to Axon Evidence. The following below are the summaries of the interviews and are not verbatim. On 11/7/2023, 9:42 hours, Detective D. Uribe and I interviewed Redacted. Redacted stated the night started off at his friend Redacted's house. He was with Redacted, did not know his last name, Owen Hines and Mason Jostin. Redacted then described the following individuals' costumes. Redacted, a fedora hat and a brown suit. Another person, Midge, black suit, red tie. Another person had a metallic vest. Another person had a black robe with pinkish belt. And Mason Jostin had a suit from Spirit Store that goes over the head. Says they received said that party started at 8. No alcohol, no smoking, with an address provided. Redacted could not recall the address listed, then provided us with everyone's Snapchat username and their phone numbers. Photographs of their Snapchat accounts were taken and uploaded to Axon Evidence. Redacted stated they had gone to numerous parties that evening, 2 of the parties being close to each other in Queen Creek. He stated that the group was split up into 2 vehicles, but had stayed throughout the night. Redacted had ridden in Mason's Nissan Frontier truck with Mason as the driver. Redacted, and Redacted. Redacted drove his X7 with Preston and Redacted. They first attended a party in Seville, Gilbert, and then a second party at an unknown location. Then they went to their third party in Queen Creek. He described that party as having a huge backyard with parents present and a stage with a DJ. At that party, there was no alcohol provided. He also referred to this party as the one close to the one where the assault happened. Redacted stated that he thought they were at the third party for maybe 30 minutes before cops came and started to shut it down. He had gotten back into the Frontier with the same people, and the same people got into Redacted vehicle. Then they Both drove down to the fourth party, which is where the assault had occurred. Redacted stated that they had parked the Frontier directly in front of that address, facing westbound. He was not sure where Redacted had parked his vehicle. Redacted stated everyone from both vehicles walked into the party together. He stated there were several people that he knew, so he was just mingling. He then heard Redacted from Hamilton HS approach Treston and told him, "We got some beef over here." Treston then walked over to a large huddle where a lot of unknown kids were talking. Treston was placed in the middle. Redacted stated he did not know anyone in the huddle besides Redacted and Treston. He knew Treston from school and stated that he was wearing a white suit with white pinstripes. He described some of the kids in the huddle as wearing jerseys, but did not know any of them. Redacted stated he remained in the back, not near the huddle, and could not see or hear anything specific. He then noticed that everyone was starting to leave, including his friend group. Redacted stated he saw some of his friends leave the party, so he started to walk out too. Redacted was in the back of a large group leaving the party when he noticed a black male wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and a ski mask ran up from behind another unknown kid, described to be Latino and about 5'5", wearing a green Celtics jersey, and ripped his chain off of his neck. This occurred on South 194th Street, just south of E Via del Rancho. Redacted stated that he had heard that the black male went by the name of D-Money, but Redacted did not know him personally. After D-Money ripped the chain off the kid in the Celtics jersey, and D-Money started verbally arguing, the large group continued to walk northbound towards East Via del Rancho. Redacted stated at this point he was by himself, as some of his friends were ahead, north of him, on South 194th Street, and Redacted were still near the party house, so he was waiting for them to catch up to him. Then he noticed a large group yelling and running eastbound on East Via del Rancho towards an empty lot. He noticed Owen, Treston, and Talan running eastbound on East Via del Rancho. Redacted advised he was not sure who Talan came to the party with, but he believed he was with Jacob Meisner. He described Talan as wearing a blue jacket with undershirt and blue pants. He then noticed Mason and Redacted running on East Via del Rancho towards South 194th Street. At this time, he did not see Owen, Treston, or Talan. Redacted met up with Mason and Redacted, and they all get into the Frontier. As they were getting into the Frontier, Treston approached them and Mason. Redacted, and Redacted all got into the Frontier and left to go to another party. Redacted said the fight was never brought up again. Redacted stated Treston had gotten back into Redacted's vehicle with Redacted. Redacted did not know where Owen or Talan had gone after seeing them run. Redacted advised after the last party they all ended back at Redacted's house. He stated there was no mention of the fight. Redacted stated that he never saw the assault or anyone hurt, and this ended our contact. On 11/7/2023 at approximately 10:21 hours, Detective D. Iribi and I interviewed Redacted. Mother Kelly Woods was present for the interview. Redacted stated that he started his night at Redacted's house at around 2,000 hours with Redacted, Mason, Treston, Redacted, and Redacted. They all went to two parties in Queen Creek that were near each other. Redacted could not recall the order of the parties he attended. He described one party as being a large backyard with a large wooden tower, playing really loud music, and about 200 people. He and his friends had learned about the party through Snapchat. as a flyer was being sent around. Redacted confirmed that he was part of the social studies Snapchat group. He believed they were there for about 20 minutes, and then they went to another party that was about 5 minutes away. Redacted stated when he arrived at the next party, cops had come by and there were cars everywhere. He doesn't believe he made it into the house before seeing a large crowd start to run. Redacted stated people started to trample over each other and then scatter. He then got into Mason's truck and they left the party. Redacted could not remember who else was in the truck with him besides Mason. He said the other kids with him may have gotten into Redacted's vehicle, which was a big X7 BMW. They then went to another party. After the third party, he ended back at Redacted's house around 22:30 hours. Redacted recalled seeing Redacted, Preston, Redacted, and some girls at Redacted's house at the end of the night. Redacted hung out at the house for approximately 2 hours before Mason had driven him home. Redacted was questioned on further details, but seemed to struggle providing details and was uncertain in his answers when it came to descriptions of what his friends were wearing. Redacted said there was no talk about a physical fight, and that he did hear something about a kid laying on the floor, but could not provide details on who gave him that information. On 11/8/2023, approximately 8:20 hours, Detective D. Uribe and I interviewed another person named Redacted. That person had never gone to any party other than an invite only at Redacted's house, which was near Lindsay and Riggs. She had gone with her friends, whose name's Redacted, and Caroline. They were at the party for about 2 hours, and they got picked up by Redacted around 0 hours. Redacted described the vehicle that Redacted had picked them up in as a big mom car that was the size of a Yukon and black in color. Redacted stated that she only knew the name of one other kid in the Redacted's vehicle when they were picked up, and that was Redacted. They then went to Redacted's house and hung out for about an hour before she left. Redacted explained she did not really know any of the people at Redacted's besides the girls she was with. She believes they ended up at Redacted's because Caroline knows Redacted. When asked what the males were dressed up as, she gave the description of pinky blinders. She could provide specifics for each individual. Redacted stated she had never heard any talk about a fight, but also stuck to Caroline's hip, as she did not know anyone else that well. This ended our contact. On 11/8/2023, Perry High School staff advised that they were unable to get a hold of Redacted's parents and would not allow law enforcement to speak with him until a parent was notified. I called Redacted's mother, Deborah Artiga, who stated that she would prefer to be present for the interview and that it not be at the school. Arrangements were made, and Redacted was interviewed at his residence located at Redacted in Gilbert, with Deborah present on 11/8/2023. The interview was audio recorded and uploaded to the accident evidence. Detective J. Uribe and I conducted the interview. The following is a summary of the interview and not verbatim. Redacted started his night by driving over to Redacted's house, and then they met up with other friends at Redacted's house. He stated that it was himself and a bunch of redacted names, Preston and more redacted names. They all dressed up as a group of mobsters. They all hung out at Redacted for a bit, then headed to various parties that they got through Snapchat. Redacted confirmed that he was a part of the social studies Snapchat group at this time. However, the group was deleted because some of the members were scared due to previous legal problems. Redacted rode in Mason's truck with Redacted. Redacted drove the X7 with Redacted. Redacted and Preston, Redacted and Redacted drove in Redacted's dark brown or black Honda Civic. Redacted was in his own vehicle, which was a black Camaro. The first party that they went to was in Queen Creek, which was a fairly large party with a majority of Mormon kids that were pretty sober. Redacted did not see any alcohol being provided at this party. He stated that they were there about 30 minutes to an hour before leaving to the second party, which Redacted referred to as the party in question. Redacted stated the same people were in the same vehicles from Redacted house to the first party and from the first party to the second party, aka the party in question. Detective J. Uribe had drawn a map of the area where the incident occurred. Redacted stated that they had parked the truck on 194th Street just south of E Via del Palo. They then went into the party. Redacted stated he stayed primarily with Redacted, and Redacted, who had met at the party. Redacted advised that he was not sure how or who had come to the party with Redacted, stated that there was a lot of commotion happening and a large group was starting to leave the party. The group started walking and running northbound on South 194th Street and then ended up just east on South 194th Street, but behind the large group, 5 to 10 feet behind everyone else. Hold on, I just want to make sure that you guys are there. Okay, here we go. I just want to make sure you're there. Redacted could not really see or hear anything. He stated it was just a lot of commotion. He noticed a whole bunch of people were standing in a circle and he was unable to see through the circle, but that it looked like there was a fight. He then saw someone lying on the floor and people walking out. He then saw Redacted and Mason walk out near the crowd. He met up with them, and then they got into Mason's truck and left. He stated the following kids got into Mason's truck: Mason and the Redacted, and Redacted. Detective J. Uribe asked Redacted if any of them had talked about what happened. Redacted stated that no one said anything, but it was clear to him that they should get going due to the mood of the group. They left the party and went back to Redacted's house. Redacted believes they got back to Redacted's about midnight. And once they got back to Redacted, 4 girls and another unknown male showed up at Redacted. Redacted stated that the girls and the male had gone to other parties throughout the night and were not with them until the end of the night. Redacted hung out at Redacted for a while. People had talked about the fight, but Redacted could not provide any details. Redacted remembered someone saying that somebody was really hurt or possibly dead. He said Redacted then left to go see a girl. He and Redacted hung out with the girls, and then Redacted left and was home by 300 hours. When asked why he thinks someone had assaulted Redacted, Redacted said he believed it was because of dumb, drunk kids. When asked what the intoxication level of the group was, Redacted stated that some of his friends were intoxicated, but he did not believe anyone to be hammered. Redacted also stated that he would tell detectives if he knew anyone that had any part in the fight. Redacted provided the Snapchat handles for all of his friends and provided the description of each person's outfit. Himself, a black vest with a white pocket square, a black long-sleeve shirt, and black slacks. Redacted person had a black vest with a red pocket square, a black long-sleeve shirt, and black slacks. Another redacted person wore a brown vest and a flat hat. Jack Meisner wore a purple robe and yellow hat. Mason Jostin wore a black jacket suit with a red tie. Preston Billy a white suit. Taylor Sherman, a white shirt with a black vest. And then another person that's redacted, a black vest with a white undershirt and a black cap. Another redacted person wore a blue suit jacket, blue pants, and old-timey flat hats. Another person wore a gray vest, black slacks, and a black flat hat. Another person did not remember what redacted was wearing. Another person could not remember, and this ended our contact with redacted. On 11/8/2023, an interview was attempted with redacted while at school located at Perry High School. However, redacted's mother, Desiree, advised the school she did not give permission for police to contact redacted without her present. I called and texted Desiree several times before getting a response from her. Desiree stated that she did receive texts and would be in touch on Friday. 11/10/2023. On 11/10/2023, I never heard from Desiree. I contacted Desiree on 11/13/2023 and received no response from Desiree. Caroline Alexandra. As of 11/9/2023, Caroline has not been interviewed. When detectives responded to Perry High School on 11/8/2023, she was absent. Hi, Judy. Okay, this is 11/13/2023. On 11/13/2023, I responded to the Home Depot, Cave Creek Road in Phoenix, with Officer Shipman, where we served a search warrant on Talan Vigil. The warrant was served at approximately 8:24 hours. We obtained Vigil's cell phone, and I obtained buckle swabs from Vigil. I wore gloves, swabbed the inside of his cheek approximately 10 to 15 seconds. I then placed the swabs in the original packaging, then another envelope with Vigil's information on the envelope. Vigil signed that envelope advising we obtained his DNA, and then I gave this to Officer Shipman, who impounded it as evidence. On 11/15/2023, I responded to the known addresses of redacted, the female that was with Talan Vigil the night of the incident. I arrived at her house located at redacted in redacted. I contacted both redacted and her mother, Carly Cartmel. My contact with redacted and Carly was audio recorded and has been uploaded to Accent Evidence. The following below is a summary of my contact with redacted and is not verbatim. Redacted stated that the night started by getting ready with her friend, redacted, who was later identified as redacted. They were picked up by a redacted and had gone to the first party of the night, which was about 5 minutes away from the party where the fight had occurred. At the first party, she came across Talan Vigil. Redacted, known as TK, Mason Justin, Tristan, Owens Hines, and redacted. They all hung out at the first party for about an hour. Redacted described that party as a large party with parents present. No alcohol was being provided. After about an hour, the group decided to go to a second party which is where the fight had occurred. Redacted rode with Talan Vigil, who was driving a white Camry that belonged to Jacob Pennington. Redacted drove his truck. Taylor, TK, drove his black Camaro, and redacted drove his gray Jeep. Redacted did not know who all went in each vehicle or if there were more vehicles involved. Out of the large group, redacted, and Vigil got to the party first. They parked directly in front of the party house, located at, and the address is redacted, and everyone else parked further north at unknown locations. Once redacted arrived at the party, they redacted, Vigil and the party, and Vigil and redacted all walked into the party together, and the rest of the boys followed behind. Once inside the party, people had begun to hang outside in the backyard. Redacted observed a large circle of boys talking about fighting, and someone had made the comment about bringing the fight outside. Redacted recognized redacted and Owen Hines being a part of that circle. Redacted could not make out exactly what they were saying or who said, "Let's bring it outside." However, once those words were said, everyone started to walk outside towards the street, South 194th Street, as Redacted was describing what had happened, what had occurred. Redacted was pointing out locations to me on a map. The large group all started running northbound on South 194th Street and then eastbound on East Via Del Rancho. Redacted's ground was ahead of the boys that Redacted knew. She then saw Mason Jostin running towards Redacted and his friends. Redacted and Redacted remained on South 194th Street, just south of East Via Del Rancho. Redacted said the group of boys was Talan and Redacted. The group of boys was too big and she could not tell what was going on. Redacted said that Mason, Redacted, Preston, Owen, Talan, and Redacted were all in the group of boys seen near where Redacted was assaulted. Then all the boys started running away, went towards their vehicles. Redacted and Redacted walked back southbound on South 194th Street to Talan's vehicle. Talan started to run to the car and told the girls that they needed to leave because a kid was passed out. While in the car, Talan made the comment about how he had punched a kid out cold. Then Talan, Redacted, and Redacted left the party and Talan dropped her and Redacted off at the third party. Redacted believes Talan had gone home at that point. At the end of the night, she and Redacted went to Redacted's house. While she was there, she heard some guys talking about how Talan had punched a kid. Redacted stated that she assumed they were talking about Talan Vigil, but later learned they were talking about Talan Renner. Jake Meisner is who told Redacted that it was Talan Renner who had punched the kid. Redacted stated she did not personally see Talan Renner at the party, but was told by Redacted that she had seen him there. I asked Redacted if she has any communication with Talan Vigil after the incident. She stated that she did, and that they communicated through text messages, as she does not have Snapchat. Redacted and her mother signed a consent to search from allowing me to search through Redacted's cell phone. I observed several text messages between Redacted and a subject labeled Talan Vigil, with a photograph of Talan Vigil and the number. A majority of their text messages did not pertain to the incident. However, Redacted did text Talan a screenshot from Snapchat, a screenshot already obtained by police that was going around social media, where people were accusing Talan of killing Redacted. Talan responded back by stating it was not him that did it. There was no further talk about the incident. It should be noted that Redacted mentioned that the boys involved in the fight with Redacted are part of a group called the Gilbert Goons, and that they are all known to fight. She stated that she knows Mason Jostin, Redacted, Preston, and Owen Hines are all associated with the Gilbert Goons. Redacted stated she did not have photographs from that night other than selfies. This concluded my interview with Redacted that pertained to the incident itself. A copy of the signed consent to search form is attached to the report. On 11/15/2023, I responded to the known address of Redacted. I arrived at the house located at Redacted. I contacted both Redacted and her mother, Sandra Flores. My contact with Redacted and Sandra was audio recorded and has been uploaded to Acts and Evidence. The following is a summary of my contact with Redacted and is not verbatim. Redacted stated that she and Redacted had gotten ready for the night and were picked up by Mason. Christmas, they went over to a friend's house where they were with a friend named Redacted. Redacted, Redacted, and Redacted. They all went to a party behind Allah. At the Allah party, they met up with Talan Vigil. Redacted, Redacted, and Talan Vigil left the first party, went to the second party, which is where the assault occurred. Talan drove Redacted and Redacted to the second party in their friend Redacted's car. Redacted stated that Redacted was not there, and that Redacted was borrowing his car. Redacted, and Talan arrived at the second party and met up with Redacted and Redacted. Redacted stated a lot of their friends were at the party and recalled seeing Redacted, Preston, Redacted, and Redacted there. Redacted was dressed up as a prisoner in a black and white striped suit. Redacted was dressed up as a large twisted T costume. Redacted was unknown, and Redacted described everyone else to be in tuxedos, but could not provide any further details. Redacted stated that she did not know where everyone else was driving or riding in, but knew a gray Jeep and a black Camaro were two of the vehicles that were used by the group that night. While they were at the second party, they were in the backyard when she heard a group of the guys yelling, "Oh, he's talking crap." Redacted could not make out who actually said that. And then everyone started running out of the house, and they all ran northbound on South 194th Street towards East via Del Rancho. Redacted stated that the group is known to fight, so she and Redacted didn't follow them because they didn't want to see a fight. When asked who is known to fight, Redacted only provided the name of Preston. Redacted stated she did not see the physical altercation and could not identify anyone involved. When asked what happened after the fight, she stated that everyone left. She, Redacted, and Redacted all got back into Redacted's vehicle and left. When they were in the car, Talan stated that he had just punched someone. When the girls asked him who, he said a black kid. When asked if he remembered seeing any black kids at the party, she said that she remembered seeing Dominic there, also known as D-Money. Redacted stated that she was friends with Dominic on Snapchat and would be able to identify him in a crowd. Redacted said Dominic was wearing all black that night of the party. She did not know who Dominic was with or how he got to the party, but believed that Dominic was friends with Preston and his group, and Redacted did not have any contact information for Dominic besides Snapchat. Redacted stated that once they got back into the vehicle, they left the party and went to a gas station where they met back up with Redacted. Talan then dropped Redacted off at another party. Redacted and Redacted ended up at Redacted's house at the end of the night. Redacted stated she did not hear anyone talk about the fight. Redacted then provided me with the following social media accounts, and they go through a bunch of accounts, right, for everybody. I then asked Redacted if she took any photographs from that night, and she stated she only took selfies, and this concluded my interview with her. On 11/17/2023, I was tasked with sending a preservation letter and search warrant to Snapchat for Redacted. Redacted's Snapchat account. I was briefed by Detective J. Uribe that Detective Lines had interviewed Redacted and had learned that Redacted received a Snapchat message from Talan Renner at approximately midnight on 10/19/2023, stating that he was in a large fight, killed a kid, and did not know his own strength. Let me read that again, okay, so that you understand this part. And learned that Redacted received a Snapchat message from Talan Renner at approximately midnight on 10/19/2023, stating that he was in a large fight, killed a kid, and did not know his own strength. Now, that says 10/19. I don't know if that date is correct there, but On 11/17 at approximately 13:20 hours, I emailed Snapchat using their law enforcement email. I received an email back from Snapchat advising they received my submission and assigned its submission number, blah, blah, blah. The preservation letter is attached to the report. On 11/17/2023 at approximately 15:20 hours, Maricopa County Superior Honorable Stephen Holding granted and signed a search warrant to acquire Snapchat records from Snapchat in regards to account user redacted. The search warrant was served to Snapchat on 11/17/2023 at approximately 15:22 via their law enforcement email of law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. I received an email back from Snapchat advising that they received my submission and assigned it a submission number. A return was also created on 11/17/2023 and signed by the Maricopa Superior Honorable Stephen Holding at approximately 16:04 hours. A return was created to satisfy the law requirement of returning the search warrant within 3 days of execution. However, Snapchat may take weeks to generate a response. Okay. A copy of the search warrant affidavit and return have all been attached to this report. On 11/9/2023, I requested and received all medical records pertaining to redacted for the dates of 10/28 through 10/29. The records have all been attached to the report. Detective J. Uribe was notified of that. We have received the medical records. This is finally a different person, Michael Jost. On November 13, 2023, at approximately 600 hours, I assisted with the serving of a search warrant. The warrant was served at redacted. Body-worn camera was captured. Upon arrival to the neighborhood, I parked just north of West Silver Creek Court on South Monterey Street, while the Queen Creek Police Department Special Assignment Unit was at the residence assisting with contacting the residents. Detective J. Uribe contacted the occupants of the residence via telephone, and everyone exited without incident. It was at this time I changed my position to the intersection of West Silver Creek Court and South Monterey Street. I stood by with the homeowner and her 2 children outside of the residence as detectives in crime scene executed the search. Throughout the search, I continued to stand by with the residents, and communication was limited to making sure that the youngest child was warm enough and to also advise the detectives would be done soon. When the search was completed, Detective J. Uribe advised the homeowner and provided a receipt of the items collected, and this concluded my involvement reference this incident, and I cleared from the scene. This is Johanna Uribe. Okay, this is a conversation with redacted, Taylor, redacted, and redacted. So let's read this. Must be a Snapchat conversation. Taylor Sherman Forensic Examination Review. It says at 21:25, Gage literally said something to you. Another one said, all Gage said, is this, take K. I'm sitting out here debating. Did the cops come? The cops, JS, drive past. Everyone trying to fight some N-word. What? Why? LG people were talking shite. Oh gosh. Where are you going? Did you just... I think that's supposed to say fight people. Look at this. I didn't. What? Go to in and out. I can't breathe. Are you okay? Is D-Money okay? I'm okay. I knocked that kid out, though. 21:59 hours sends a video. The message is a video of redacted being dragged out of the roadway by the Watuki kids. Okay, HF. Who hit him? D-Money, Jake, Talan, and me. How did they hit D-Money? We was looking at them weird, I guess. What the F? I'm glad it wasn't you. Is he okay? Is he talking? I knocked out his homie. He's okay. As you should. Like he's talking normally. Yeah. He geeking. He wants to go kill them. He was literally dead on the floor. D-Money bout shoot at random's brew. MF's so mad. HF, why is your location on for redacted? A video is sent. These N-words not playing. You went back? I told you, D-Money really wants to kill this kid. He left his keys, though. Who is this kid? Talan killed someone with his hands. Sends an address URL going to another Addy. Boy, I'm taking D-Money to his car, then going. I think Talan killed that kid. Not gonna lie. Fed said it was a crime scene. I swear. Is he did? IRN Inc. NGL. I think my bad. I was driving. I didn't want to fight that MF, but I kind of had to. Well, if he's dead, it's jail time for you. I knocked out another kid. It's the kid that Talan knocked out. What the F? Talan hit him once and he was like dead. Talan? Talan Renner's brother? He's huge, not gonna lie. Can't believe I actually effed that kid up. Proud. Loved proud. I didn't want to fight him, but his homie knocked him out. Some girl told me to shut up because I'm screaming your name. I know I heard you. Are you going to the Addy? You heard me. I was Ada. And you didn't listen to me. I look terrible. I changed after what just happened. Sends another address URL. Are you okay though? Yes, now I'm drinking. That girl didn't do anything. F no, I would have killed her. Loved, I would have killed her. What I like to hear. Yay. These MFers starting beef again. I need new friends. I actually think that kid is actually dead. There was a blanket over him, I heard. You killed someone? I didn't. Talan did. You didn't hit him? I didn't hit that kid. What if it's the kid you hit? Okay, the kid I fought, he never hit me. Why did Talan hit him? They was talking shite, I guess. Was that kid? Clay told me it's an investigation now. But it's still crazy how we fought those kids. How is D-Money now? I dropped D-Money off at his girl's house. That was so scary. Okay, did you hear me yelling at D-Money? Yes. That's how I knew it was you. I was screaming at him. Get TF up. Going. I dead arse couldn't breathe when I tried telling you the story. I know, I was scared. Redacted was looking at me like I wasn't real, and some girl told me, he's okay, just walk away, and I said, I know them. Was it the mom? No, some girl. I'm at Redacted's. And did he just say he killed someone? That was Talan, because he thinks he actually killed that kid with his hands. The guy in the video sends a video and writes this video. Talan hit him once, laughing with tears emoji. How effing hard. I honestly have no idea. I turned around after fighting that one kid and 2 MFers was knocked out. D-Money and that kid. There's no way you fought that kid. Not the one in the video, the other kid. I didn't get hit one laughing with tears emoji. He got me to the ground, not gonna lie, but I turned him over and then I just started hitting that MFer. I didn't want to fight, but he came at me sideways. Is it the kid you were being mean? I walked past and you were being mean to a kid and I walked away laughing? Oh, shite, you heard that? Yeah, a-hole. It was one of his friends. Wasn't surprised, so I laughed and walked away. I only fought that one kid because I know I had more weight on him. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go out of my way to fight randoms, though. I know usually you're the chill one. I have never seen you so mad after you got out of your car with D-Money. I was just saying mad my homie got knocked out. That was so scary. I couldn't even really talk. I was dying. Why were those kids in the car screaming like you walked past? I honestly have no idea. I can't believe D-Money basically died. I thought he was invincible. I walked past and some kid blew a blowhorn in my ear. I know you don't like people fighting, but I had to defend myself. The little arse kid just came up to me and started swinging. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, that kid didn't hit me once either. It was just me punching him. He's on life support. I feel bad for the kid, not gonna lie. Kinda sad. I feel bad for the kid. He was just running away and he just hit him that some kids started kicking him. He told me that TDY and I was like, you're pretty effed up for that. Not gonna lie. Bro, that kid died. I known D-Money for so long, about 7 years. Trusty or Talan might be getting charged with murder. Trusty sends an image of Preston Billy. LG, I guess he kicked the kid. What about Talan? I don't know. The cops have all their info. Even yours? No, I never touched him. I never chased him either. I think it's crazy how I went from beefing with them to rolling with them, and I just feel bad for that kid's family. Look what Jake just sent me along with a picture. Who's that? Someone's definitely going to end their life, and I don't want it to happen. Jake, Talan's best friend. All of them have their own gun, and that's why I'm kind of stressing. I'm just thankful I wasn't involved, even though I am. At 12:03. How did Preston do that? Because after it happened, Trusty goes, take hey, delete every single vid you have. There's a bonfire, but I don't know if I'm trying to go through to go everyone's going to be fighting there. It's a hell of a beef if there's hella beef. Yes, people are going to be fighting. It's over the kid who died, LG. I don't want to go, but don't. He said, take a, maybe be fighting. I'm going to need your help. I go, I don't know about that one. People are going to Trustees because they think he killed him. What are they going to do? Me, Redacted, and Jake Fina stand outside. I went to trustees, no one was there. In the bonfire, 2 people fought, but I wasn't there in time. I just feel bad for trustee. He didn't know he was about to catch a body. Does your dad know? Yeah, but I didn't tell him it was trustee. Why not? I'm not going to tell him that. He knows everyone I hang out with. Trustee and Talan are effed. So if he know Talan did it, why is trustee in there? Both of them touched him. How do they know? They told Jake. They have it all on video. I'm so happy Jake is free. Another picture and the FBI reward. Run me up my money. Should I? I'm on that. But $10K. I would just diss on Talan, not even say a word about Tristan. I mean, Talan's parents are worth a couple million. My dad's gonna find out. How can we stay anonymous? My mom wants in on this $10K. I mean, everyone thinks Trusty is dumb for kicking him. It has to be Talan, because he was like, bro, I killed someone when we left. On 10/31/23, posts regarding Redacted's case are shared. Delete everything. Vids, texts, pics, and costumes. They either getting Talan or Tristan. How do you know? People are posting Tristan. I feel so bad for Talan and Trusty. Oh, I feel terrible. I didn't even know Trusty did that. If I get posted, I'm blowing my head off. Not kidding. I didn't even hit that kid once, only the beaner. We have to find these kids again, the ones that started it. We can't let the homies go away. Bro, I just heard kids talking about it in my class, saying it was Talan. Say it's a different one or some shite. I did. Hi, Heart Midwives. I'm changing and then coming. Investigation Day 6, 11/2. During times I was not actively conducting interviews or investigative actions, I continued to review all evidence to include but not limited to the following: body-worn camera footage, digital evidence, reviewing any information coming from other detectives to include tips. It should be noted, any tips I personally handled or documented under a running supplement, conducting research on any of the involved subjects, continued to maintain communication with family of Redacted with any questions I may be able to answer. On 11/2, I responded to Hamilton High School to attempt to contact Redacted. Per school administration policy, I contacted Redacted's mother via telephone to request to speak with Redacted. Upon making telephone contact with her, she informed me she'd contact me back to schedule a meeting as she wished to be present. I ended my contact with her and left the school, not making contact with Redacted. I later received a call from David Levier informing me Redacted had retained him as an attorney and would be representing him. Contact information, Redacted, and email. I had received a phone call from an unknown legal office wanting to reach me. I contacted the office and told the attorney was in trial. The representative took my information and did not know who the attorney was representing. I ended my contact with the office. I continued to review officer supplements, body-worn camera, and any information provided by tips and interviews. The following is a summary of what I reviewed. The information is paraphrased and not reflecting verbatim. Officer Coda's interview of Redacted, Awatuki group. Watuki. Redacted was wearing a red costume that went to his knees. He rode to the party with a bunch of Redacted people, waited in the vehicle, and Redacted. Redacted stated they drove in a white truck, possibly a Tundra, still parked at the scene. Redacted stated that no physical altercations occurred inside the residence where the party was held. Once him and his group were leaving, they saw 2 groups of people going towards the same direction. Described the described the seeing skipping like they were going to start to fight. Redacted stated one group was trying to get away from the other group. Redacted described one group as being about 10 subjects and the other one about 15 to 20 subjects. The subjects started running. Redacted stated the larger group began pushing and punching the smaller group. He then saw a male on the ground. The smaller group got sucker punched. Then the group runs off. Redacted saw the victim. Redacted got punched out cold. The kids began recording and humping the individual on the ground. Redacted said he heard, "Damn, he's knocked out." Redacted told Officer Coda the subject humping. Redacted was part of the aggravators. Officer Andrews' interview with Redacted's group. Redacted had shorts and green-white jersey with a white short-sleeved shirt. Redacted described an issue that occurred in the back of the party residence in which a friend of his, Redacted's, was confronted by another subject who blew vape smoke in his face. Redacted left. Redacted said he looked pissed. That's why they jumped us. Redacted described a Mexican kid identified as Redacted who was recording and 4 guys who were telling him to delete that shite. Redacted said Redacted was acting hard like he wasn't going to get punked by anyone. Described a bigger Asian kid started yelling at Redacted. Said everyone started surrounding them like the whole party. Said they had to leave. Describes the group following out while chanting "na na na na" while waving their hands. And they snatched his chain. They hit the Mexican kid, and he didn't know what happened to Redacted. Redacted described he was walking up further than Redacted when they snatched Redacted's chain. Redacted said he heard, "Let's get it on. You gonna let him snatch your chain like that? Don't be a biatch." Redacted said he saw the Mexican kids get knocked off. Redacted described punches getting thrown by multiple individuals. Redacted said he felt Redacted grabbing the back of his jersey. Redacted described a white male strike Redacted in the back of the head, causing Redacted to fall to the ground. He described the male to be wearing a black suit, a red tie, blue jeans, and white Air Forces. Redacted said Redacted fell, and when he turned around, he saw that they were hitting him. Redacted stated that he hit one of the subjects, ducked, and hit another one. Redacted said he got struck once in the shoulder as Redacted fell, and he was turning. Redacted did not see who hit him and said he thought it was a white dude. Redacted and him then started hopping fences and joined Redacted several streets away. Redacted describes the others as wearing suits. Most of them were tall and strong-looking. Redacted also described as Arabic-looking male with a ski mask like furry. During his initial interview on scene, Redacted stated when he and his friends ran off, Redacted called him and told him that he was getting stomped out. Initial interview of Redacted by Officer Aranda. Redacted was wearing a black sweater, gray pants, gray sweats, black shoes. A male, heavy build with a red suit, was yelling at Redacted. He said the male was with about 15 other students. Redacted had recorded a previous argument. Redacted was forced to erase the video. Redacted said they were walking away when Redacted got his chain ripped off from the back and was hit on the side of the face. Redacted said the person in the red suit was the one who snatched the chain. Redacted didn't do anything, started jogging away. The person ran up and punched Redacted, and that's when everyone starts running away. It should be noted, Redacted shows officers video of the Redacted argument in which the subject in the white suit, red tie, is seen. Redacted identifies that as the subject who took Redacted's chain. Redacted told officers Redacted got hit too. Redacted said when he looked back, he saw Redacted get right hooked on the side of the face. Redacted described the subject as wearing a mask with something over it too. Redacted said the subject was with the group and other subject. Initial interview redacted by Officer Fernandez. Redacted was not part of the incident, never had, and had heard someone was unconscious. When he arrived to the area where Redacted was, he helped others move Redacted from out of the road because there was still a lot of vehicle traffic. A large interview Officer Sims. A large group started following them. Redacted gets hit from behind and they all start running. Redacted said he looked back, saw Redacted get hit and fall. Using his right hand, simulates a closed fist punch to the side of the face. Redacted described a subject with a black hood, bleached hair, diamond earrings, swung at him and missed. Redacted describes the punches were thrown in the middle of the street in front of the house where Redacted located when officers arrived on scene. They were all wearing ski masks. Scheistes was used to describe the mask. While they were walking out of the party, they jumped Redacted and Redacted got knocked out. Redacted said the incident occurred around 21:45 to 21:50 hours. Initial interview of Redacted and Redacted by Officer Garcia. They were walking towards their vehicle. They saw about 30 subjects coming from 194th Street, and they were just standing just east of the incident on East Via del Rancho Road. They saw a group push Redacted. Redacted fell once he was on the floor, and they started punching and kicking him. After the group ran northeast, when they approached the group and asked what's happening, they were unable to provide any information on descriptions or vehicle information. Interview of Redacted by Officer Garcia describes the incident with Redacted and Redacted. Redacted left and the other guy, Redacted, came back with 25 friends. They jumped Redacted because they thought they were with Redacted. A white guy punched Redacted first, and then 10 dudes started running at Redacted. Redacted ran off, and they stopped running after him. According to Redacted, Redacted did not get knocked out the first punch. He was running away, and a guy shoved him and then punched him on the head. He saw Redacted running, so he started running too. He doesn't know who punched him. Interview with Redacted by Detective Driscoll. He describes the incident in the backyard involving Redacted and Redacted. He described the incident involving Redacted recording and a guy telling him to delete the video. He described the male who told him to delete the video as a light Hispanic, chubbier, all-white suit, red tie, and black hair. He said he and his friends decided to leave the group before anything happened. As they were walking out and a group of 20 people started chasing them, Redacted said he was pushed and punched on the back side of his head a couple of times. He was on the ground. He described the subject standing over him. Redacted was calling for Redacted but couldn't find him. He saw his friend Redacted running to the car and Redacted calling the police. Redacted told Redacted 5 kids standing on top of Redacted and punching him. They went unconscious. Redacted described one of the subjects chasing him as a white male, brown hair, middle part, curly hair, black jacket, white shirt, black pants, black, possibly a Nike jacket, sweater, or suit. The following information is what we have learned up to this point in the investigation through interviews, digital media evidence, and evidence on scene. At 10:28:23, public posts were disseminated via social media applications, Snapchat, indicating a Halloween party was going to be held at an address redacted. Numerous juveniles that attended the party described different posts. Some indicated alcohol would be provided at the party. It was reported there was approximately 100 to 200 juveniles attending the party. The party was reported to be in the backyard and inside the RV garage, while the homeowners, Roberto and Emily Carrera, remained inside the residence. During the party of a friend, redacted's identified as redacted approached one male identified as redacted to greet him as he knew him from the past. Sometime after, a subject identified as redacted confronted redacted, referencing an issue surrounding a rumor at school. During the verbal disturbance between redacted and redacted, a large group began to develop. A subject identified as redacted, who had arrived at the party with redacted, had begun recording the verbal argument. Redacted was told to stop recording and delete the message. Redacted took an opportunity to leave the party and, based on interviews, is believed to have left the party at approximately 21:30 hours. Video surveillance recovered from the residence where the party occurred, redacted, shows a large group of subjects leaving about 21:41. Based on the interviews, and his friends began walking northbound on South 194th Street when another group of juveniles began shouting and chasing them on foot. 14-year-old was with redacted during this time when he was pushed to the ground, punched in the head, and ultimately sustained superficial abrasions and a broken wrist. Redacted was also running with redacted when he observed redacted being shoved to the ground. While redacted was on the ground, redacted observed 10 to 15 people standing over redacted, punching and kicking him. An interview with redacted indicated a possibly Asian male, big, wearing all white and red tie, pulled redacted chain and punched redacted on the side of the face. Sustained minor swelling to his cheek and an abrasion on his right knee. Stated he was able to recover his pendant. However, his imitation gold in chain colors was still not recovered. He valued it to be about $10. Redacted was able to share the video had taken of the verbal argument with redacted and redacted. In the video, you can observe who has been confirmed to be redacted in a white tank top, black tie, and hat, a black male with a gold chain, and a black dress shirt identified as redacted, a Hispanic or Asian in a white suit with pinstripes, red tie, and watch, who was later identified as Preston Billy, a white male with black hair in a black hooded sweatshirt who has not been identified. Follow-up investigation revealed Snapchat messages in reference to the incident were discovered. An unidentified juvenile sent screenshots of Snapchat messages between username redacted and redacted communicating about the incident. Redacted is believed to be the Snapchat of Talan Vigil, where he commented, the following is a private Snapchat message, I hit a kid, and this kid hit his head, and then they kicked his head in the ground, and then I got word died, so I don't know. As of 10/31/2023, law enforcement continued to receive media evidence related to the Snapchat conversations between redacted and another unknown account about the incident, to include the following. The kid in the white suit kicked the kid's head in. Here, hold on, Talan Renner is the kid that knocked him out before the kid in the white suit kicked him. The usernames redacted is communicating with are not visible. Upon getting multiple tips stating that the male in the white suit with the red tie observed is still in the shot that had been disseminated by an unknown party to the public was identified as Treston. It should be noted one of the still shots depict Treston in the white shirt, red tie, darker black dress shoes, red rose or handkerchief in the left pocket, and a gold in color chain with a large gold in color pendant. On 10/31/2023, Preston Billy arrived at the station with his parents, but ultimately ended up leaving. Preston was contacted and confirmed he had been at the QC PD station, and he provided his contact information. Investigators were able to positively identify Preston Billy via social media, Arizona identification, and citizens who have seen the still shot. On 11/1/2023, investigators had interviewed an eyewitness to the incident, identified as redacted, stated that he had been at the party with Talan Vigil. Redacted provided a description for his and Talan's costume. Talan's costume, where am I? He stated he, redacted, was wearing neon-colored shoes. Redacted is a tall white male with curly hair. Investigators were able to corroborate Redacted's statement about him being there and positively identify him in the video surveillance from the residence where the party occurred. Redacted told investigators he saw a male in a white suit with a round face and Mexican with a dark face kicked or stomped Redacted as he was on the ground. Based on the above detailed information, it is believed that Preston Billy, 18 years of age, was involved in the physical assault against Redacted the night of 10/28/2023 at about 21:49 hours. It is also believed Preston was involved in the assault against Redacted by pushing him to the ground and punching him in the head, and ultimately sustained superficial abrasions and a broken wrist on 10/28/2023 between 21:45 and 21:47 hours. It's also believed that Preston was involved in the assault against Redacted by punching him in and pulling his chain from his neck at the same time. Preston provided his cell phone number as Redacted during his contact with investigators on 10/31/2023, as well as his address. At this point, the investigation QCPD had also received digital media via tips in regard to the following being involved. Let's see here. Where the heck did we go? Same time to being involved, and numerous interviews had been conducted by detectives and officers assisting with tips. Digital media screenshot with names. There was a screenshot being provided that included with the following: that kid also, here's names: Mason Jostin, redacted, and Preston Talan Renner. More names of people that were jumping Redacted. And then there was a variation of the screenshot that included, whoever made this list, Redacted did not do anything to Redacted. He was in a video with that guy who did it before it happened without knowing that they were going to do that. Redacted was not a part of it. A third variation had Redacted's name blacked out. Okay, screenshots with profiles. Instagram of Talan Vigil, Redacted, Talan Renner, Mason Jostin, Redacted. Numerous screenshots of Snapchat posts. See Axon evidence for details. An initial timeline of events has been established. Identified persons of interest: Talan Vigil, Redacted, Talan Renner, Mason Jostin, and Preston Billy. Okay, hang on a minute. I just have to put my other phone on the charger. Just 1 second. You can stretch your legs for a minute if you need to. I've got to put my phone on the charger. watch. I'll be right there. Okay. Okay. Hold on, I just wanted to get something to suck on for a second. We're going to read to 100. Unfortunately, we're not going to finish 1,162 pages in one night. Okay. This supplement is to document that after I attended the autopsy, staff provided me with the property taken from Redacted during the autopsy. They also included a receipt of all the property given to me. I then took the property and impounded it as evidence in the Queen Creek evidence room. All items were impounded on 10/31/2023. 1, a left-hand bag, a right-hand bag, 9 swabs, blood blot, right-hand nail clippings, left-hand nail clippings, fingerprint card, and a bag containing all evidence. The property receipt was impounded on 11/1/2023. Medical examiner's property receipt. Mesa lab request. On 11/2, I sent a request for the Mesa lab to process the swabs, blood blot, and nail clippings for DNA. On 11/2/2023, I was asked to interview Redacted, the ex-girlfriend of Talan Vigil, as she may have had some information. I interviewed Redacted at the Queen Creek police station. The interview was audio recorded and uploaded to Accident Evidence. Redacted advised me she was not at the party and had not talked to Redacted. However, she was informed that someone unknown that Talan's sister, Redacted, may have had a video of the fight. She then stated she saw a photograph of Talan at the party with his friend, Redacted. Redacted could not provide details on where the photograph was from. Redacted had no other relevant information about everything she provided, was not first-hand knowledge, and she could not provide the sources as to where she heard certain information. On 11/28/2023, I assisted by responding to Redacted in Gold Canyon, Arizona, to assist with serving a search warrant. I was tasked with standing by the residence of Redacted while other detectives searched the property. I stood by Clarissa Ferrante, Dominic Turner's mother, while the search was conducted. Prior to the search, Detective J. Uribe provided Clarissa a copy of the search warrant and explained the search warrant to Clarissa. The interaction between Clarissa and I was recorded on my body-worn camera. After the search was done, I left the scene and had no other role in the search warrant. On 11/29/2023 at approximately 10:37 hours, Detective D. Iribe and I interviewed Redacted for a second interview. The interview was held in a private room at Perry High School and was recorded with my body-worn camera. The following below is a summary of the interview and not verbatim. Redacted stated he was at Redacted's house around 1700 hours with Mason, Gage, Treston, Owen, Redacted, and Redacted. During Redacted's first interview, he did not mention Gage. Redacted was asked why Gage was never brought into the first interview, and Redacted said it was because he forgot Gage was there when speaking with detectives the first time. He then stated Gage was wearing a black suit and with a red tie. They were all at Redacted's house for approximately 3 hours. D. Money showed up to Redacted's house right before they had left for the parties. However, Redacted stated he does not know D Money that well, so he did not talk to him. Redacted described D Money to be wearing a black ski mask, a black hoodie, and black baggy pants. Redacted stated he remembered riding in Mason's Nissan Frontier to the party in Seville that was small, and then to the first party that was in Queens Creek. He described the first party in Queens Creek to be 1.5 miles away from the party where the assault happened. They were all at the first Queens Creek party for approximately 30 to 45 minutes and then went to the second party in Queen Creek. And when they arrived at the second party, they all walked into the party together. They were hanging out in the backyard when he noticed a group of males huddling around each other. Redacted could not provide detectives with exactly what was happening, but he stated that it appeared that Preston and a Mexican kid in the Celtics jersey were talking crap to each other. Redacted stated that he was too far and could not hear anything. However, Redacted later learned that Redacted was one of the ones who called Preston over to the huddle, as Redacted was the one with the problem. Redacted then noticed that the large huddle started to leave the house, to include his friends. Redacted stated that he observed Redacted and his group of friends walking out, being followed behind by Redacted and Redacted friend group. He identified Redacted due to the news and seen were all wearing jerseys, so he believed the Mexican kid in this Celtics jersey was a part of Redacted's friend group. Redacted stated he was behind the entire crowd as they were leaving the party house. As they were leaving, he witnessed D Money rip the chain off the Hispanic kid in the Celtics jersey and then run off northbound on South 194th Street. Redacted stated the crowd was already on South 194th Street when D Money ripped the chain off. The Hispanic kid chased D Money, and then everyone else started running towards the Hispanic kid and D Money. It turned into a large mob. Redacted stated he was too far away and did not see the assault take place. However, he continued to walk northbound on South 194th Street, and as he approached Avila Rancho Road, he heard yelling. "He's out," and saw everyone running in different directions. Redacted believes he saw Redacted's body on the ground, as he saw a shadow of someone lying on the ground. Redacted remembers seeing Talan Renner, D Money, and Owen running away from the area where Redacted was assaulted. He then saw Redacted and Mason on the northeast corner of South 194th Street and East Via del Rancho Road, running towards Mason's truck, so Redacted started to run also. When they got to Mason's truck, Tristan approached them and said that he had just gotten into a fight and that he had hit that kid. Redacted could not recall exactly what Tristan had said, but stated it was clear that he had hit Redacted because Tristan mentioned something about a kid being on the ground. Talan Renner also approached them at the truck and told them that he had hit the kid too. Tristan and Talan then left. Redacted remembers being with Mason. Redacted during this conversation, then they all left and went to another party. Redacted did not know where Gage or Redacted were during the assault. He stated that when he got into Mason's truck, he saw Gage in Redacted's vehicle. As for Redacted, he could not remember where he was at any given time. They ended their night at Redacted's house. Redacted stated there was no further talk of the fight that night. When asked if there were any jokes made that night about the fight while at Redacted's house, Redacted said there wasn't any. I then advised we had surveillance of them talking about it, and Redacted then asked if I was referring to the video where they mentioned a closed casket. I told him that was one of the clips that we had received. And Redacted stated he did not know what that was about, but was told by Redacted's mom, Lori, that clip was from prior to leaving for the parties. When asked if Redacted had heard about any other fights happening that night, Redacted stated he hadn't heard from Jake Meisner that D Money had gotten knocked out. Redacted had learned that after the fight with Redacted, Jake, Talan, D-Money, and TK had stayed back and got into another fight, which is when D-Money was knocked out. Redacted did not have any further details on D-Money getting assaulted. Redacted was asked if anyone had asked him to delete the photographs and messages from that night of the assault. Redacted stated that Preston had asked everyone to delete everything from that night. I then inquired further on the social studies group chat on Snapchat and asked why that was deleted and people left the group. Redacted stated it was because of the incident. When asked if there was anything in the chat about the incident that was deleted, Redacted stated TK had sent a video of Redacted on the ground and then deleted it. No one talked in that group chat the next day, and then the following day people started to leave that group, so Redacted did too. This ended our conversation about the incident, and then I served the search warrant on him to retrieve his cell phone. Detective D. Iribe and I explained that the warrant was only to seize the cell phone and not to search the contents of the phone until a second warrant was granted. We then asked if he would give us a consent to go through the contents of the phone, which would expedite the process of returning his cell phone to him. Redacted agreed and stated that he did not have anything to hide. Redacted signed the Queen Creek PD consent form to search smartphone form, which has been attached to Axon evidence. On 11/29/2023, cell phone was given to Detective Truick to complete the forensic exam on the phone. The exam was completed and Redacted cell phone was returned to Redacted on 11/20. How could that be 11/20? Look at the dates there. On 11/29, the cell phone was given. The cell phone was returned. That's not right. 11:20. They don't mean that. It's probably 11:30 or something. On 11/28 at approximately 12:06 hours, Honorable Lacey Fisher with the Maricopa County Supreme Court granted and signed a search warrant to seize the Verizon cell phone with an assigned number of blank, as there was potential evidence within the phone. On 11/29/2023 at approximately 11:18 hours, I served this warrant to Redacted while at Perry High School, located at 1919 East Queen Creek Road in Gilbert, Arizona. Redacted was provided a copy of the search warrant and a property receipt. A copy of the search warrant affidavit and return have all been attached to the report. Secondary interview. On 11/29/2023, a secondary interview was attempted at Perry High School. However, Redacted Father Gary Woods did not allow us to speak with him at the time. While on the phone, Gary advised us that he would like to be present for the interview. I then explained to both Redacted and Gary that we would not question Redacted on the incident without Gary present. However, I would be serving a warrant on Redacted to retrieve his cell phone. I then explained to them the process of serving a search warrant and stated that search warrant was only to obtain the phone and not to search the contents of the phone, but that by giving police permission to complete a search of the phone without a search warrant. Gary stated that he would like to see the form before having to sign it. I advised Gary and Redacted that I would maintain possession of Redacted's cell phone and would leave a copy of the warrant, consent form, property receipt, and my business card with Redacted to provide to Gary once Gary had a chance to review the consent form and was willing to schedule a secondary interview. He could call me and get things scheduled. Gary agreed to that, and that ended my contact with both Redacted and Gary. Redacted's phone was impounded in Queen Creek evidence room. On 11/28/2023 at approximately 12:02 hours, Honorable Lacey Fisher with the Maricopa County Superior Court granted and signed the search warrant to seize Redacted's Verizon cell phone and assigned a number of, which is redacted, as there was potential evidence within the phone. On 11/29/2023, approximately 11:37, I served the warrant to Redacted while at the Perry High School located at 1919 East Green Creek Road, and I was provided a copy. Redacted was provided a copy of the search warrant and a property receipt. Copy of the search warrant affidavit and return have all been attached to the report. Redacted and Gary, Redacted contact. On 11/29/2023, 13:46 hours, I received a call from Gary. Gary advised that he had a chance to review the consent form and had agreed to allow Redacted to sign it. He stated that they could drop off the consent form and that he would allow a second interview. Gary and Redacted arrived at the station 11/29/2023, approximately 14:10 hours. The interview was conducted by the Queen Creek Police Station, was audio and video recorded, and the evidence was uploaded to Axon Evidence. The interview started at approximately 14:13 hours, and this is a summary. I started the interview by telling them that this was completely consensual, and at any point they were free to leave. They acknowledged that they understood this, and they provided me with a signed copy of their consent form to complete a forensic exam on the phone. Redacted could not provide any details on that night of the incident and stated that it was due to going to numerous parties that night. Redacted stated he didn't even remember going inside the house where the incident occurred. Redacted stated he had drank that night but was not overly intoxicated. He rode in Mason's Frontier that night, riding as the front passenger. He did not witness the assault and only stated that it was a large group of people in one area and that everyone started to run. Redacted was told by Preston that he either knocked a kid out or saw a kid knocked out, and Preston appeared to be scared. Claims that the fight was never brought up that night or since, and he said that he was never approached to delete any photographs or messages, but that he had deleted some photographs from that night of him drinking. He was also stated that anyone that left social studies group because they were told police were talking to people stated that there was nothing there for the group to catch up on about the incident. They started to leave it, so he followed them along. Redacted had no further information to provide. I provided Gary with a copy of the consent form, and this ended my contact with them. The copy of the consent form is attached to the report. Okay, and then we've made it to page 100, and we will continue with this tomorrow. This is really crazy, and it gets crazier. We've got 1,162 pages to go to, but we're going to do the word cookie daily, and then I'm going to call it a night because I am exhausted. Okay, April 1st, guys. Oops. Let's see here. Finally, there's no three-letter words in me. Okay. That's going to be it for me tonight. That's a lot. And if you want to keep going through this police report, then post about it in the comments that you want to keep doing it, and we'll do it. All right, everybody, and I'm going to let you go because I am absolutely exhausted. I'm trying to figure out where my one is to shut this one down, but I'm not finding this one. Hang on. That's my Happy Easter one. This should be the one to end it. Okay. So thank you very much for coming in. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope that you had a nice time, and I'll talk to you later on. Well, goodbye. Good night. God bless. Prayers for all that need, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night, guys.